Hi everyone, I'm Bev, one of the educational leaders at Your Child's Service. Recently we've had a few questions about how we can track children's learning and progress towards goals. So I'm here to show you how you can access all of this and more through the Storypark for Families app. So the first thing we're looking at is the home page, and within the home page we're looking at the family stories. This is where families can share with educators about all the things that the children are doing at home, which the educators can use at the service to extend on children's learning. So as you can see, this is an account for my own children, and up the top we can see Amaya and Soren's name, so you can filter which children you want to view for, or select both if you want to see for all your children. The following stories are things that I've shared with educators at my child's service about all the wonderful things we've done. For example, we bought a new pet bird. My son's learning how to sit. We went for a trip to Aqua. My daughter started a reward chart at home. So I passed all this information to the educators in my children's room so that they could follow up with this learning and also reiterate the same messages and values that we have at home. Across the top we have education. So the education tab will show you stories from your child's educators at the service, and this you know better as the daily updates, where you can find information daily about the child's educators in the room, what your child had to eat for the day, and some photos of the activities the children engaged in. The next area at the top is plans. So this one you might not have heard of or know what to do with these plans, but I can tell you that now. So within the planning section you'll find individual observation plans and weekly curriculum plans. The weekly curriculum plans are made by educators over the week and include all the experiences and evaluations of learning, references to the appropriate learning frameworks that we use, and a possible extension. So for example, on Monday, the children made berry smoothies, they jumped on the mattress, and they engaged in some spontaneous bubble play. There are photos of the children learning, evaluations of the experiences that took place, tags to the relevant outcomes for the learning framework that we use, and some possible extensions and further learning. In the individual observation plan, it works very similarly to the weekly curriculum, however it's based solely on your child's learning and development, where we identify where your child is at and where we can take them to next. Its layout is very similar, except it doesn't have days across, it just goes spontaneously. Soren's one's empty at the moment because he's only just started the service, but this is what it looks like. Families can also comment on these boxes if you're using the desktop website. Down the bottom we've got another tab which is a community. So if you click on the community, you'll open up a whole section where educators communicate with the families about updates for the rooms, if educators are needing your support or input about something. Say for example, if they're collecting recycled materials and they'd like your input, or if there's a dress up day coming up and they want to send out a reminder for families. The little orange and red tabs that you can see on the left hand side are actually notifications that come directly from the Raising Children network. They're really supportive in telling you developmentally where your children should be at, some milestones they could be reaching, and things that you could do to further their development and learning at home. Then across the bottom, I'm going to skip over the Create tab and just jump over to Ideas. Ideas is also another section that gives you loads of ideas for experiences that you could be doing with your children at home, and some that educators use at the service also. And then the Activities tab is much like a news feed. It just shows you everything that's been happening over the last couple of weeks. So if there's anything specific you were looking for, like a message that came from an educator from the office, you'll be able to find it here. Now jumping back to the Create tab, earlier we saw that I'd made stories up for my children and shared them with the service, so this is where you can do that through this Create tab. You just click on Create, select the photos that you want to have included, click Next up the top, scroll down, add in a little story about what happened or what you'd like to share with the educators, and then right up the top there's a share button where you can just click share, and it will send it automatically to educators for them to extend on the learning. Now Storypark is a wonderful platform, and we found it especially beneficial for sharing information with families and accessing family input in their child's learning and development. Across the top, right up the top, you can see the icon which will have a little photo of yourself should you choose to put one in. You can add family members in here. You can add the child or add in relatives, grandparents, so they can follow along your child's learning journey also. They'll also be able to see the stories that we share and that you share with us. So I hope you found this really helpful, and if you have any questions, please speak to your child's educators in the room. They're quite savvy with Storypark and will be able to help you navigate the app and find what it is that you need to see.